This is the overhead view of a major land clearing project that I'm gonna be working on today. As you can see, this farm is super overgrown with trees. These trees outcompete our crops for sunlight and valuable nutrients. In my last video, I was able to get started on this project, and you can see I made a little bit of headway taking trees down. But there's a ton of trees that still need to be taken down, so I better get to work. Yeah. He wants the tree down right there, but it's right up against his well, and I don't want to dig it right next to the well, so he's trying to cut on it. He gave up with the little saw. He's got my big saw rip in here. I ended up finding a little pond back here that I'm working on filling in here. There's not, it's just a little hole in the ground. There's not really a great way to drain it. The water is lower than the ground level everywhere, so I dug a little trench over there, and I'm just flopping some dirt in. It's up here on the banks in the pond, and hopefully I can get it most of the water out. So this stuff out the way. Need the big bucket on, but big bucket is way around behind me, up by the road still, so I keep doing it with the small bucket. It's not too bad. I can get a good bit of dirt in this one. And I've been taking trees out all the way around this, so it's not like this is going to be a soft spot for a while without getting all the muck out. I would not want to be crossing here with much anything for a long while, but you get the dirt in it and the water out. Make sure it's not a low spot. It'll eventually get hard. Just take a while. Other than filling in the small pond, day 2 felt really repetitive. I tore out a lot of little tiny saplings right behind the barn. As you can see up there by the front of the farm, Papa tore out a lot of big trees on that fence row. Window's fogging up so bad. I don't know what's up with that. It kind of stinks, but kind of humid out there. See if we can get this big fella to drop. Just want to stay in the ground. Get my chainsaw and cut this one off. This one's pretty nice. He made into a pretty nice firewood piece. Haul this to my house. Big tree, 25-inch bar, or yeah, I'm running a 25-inch bar. I got a 25-inch bar on my 500i, and it didn't go all the way through it. Let's see if I can just break the stump off here. There it went. Get the stump out of the way here. I like that piece. That's a nice piece for firewood, that is for sure. And this is a big stump. And I picked this thing up. I think I'm just going to roll it out of the way. I'll open the window up since it's all fogged up. I don't even know if you guys can see right now. Right there. Look at that piece. That's a nice piece of, that is a really nice piece for firewood. Right there. Right behind the house right now. Last time you guys seen me, I don't know what I was doing. I've just been working down through here. I think I punched through over that way somewhere. And I'm just coming up along the fence row here. Grubbing out a lot of small ones. There's a couple big ones that I took down. There's a couple big ones that he wants left. Just for some shade in the yard, you know. Nothing wrong with that. But we're taking out a lot of trees. Popple is right on the other side of me here. You'll see him here in a second. Let me get turn here. Pavel is dead in front of my bucket right now. He's taking out trees. There's a good bit to go between me and him, but we're getting it. That is for sure. Rotten tree dead in front of me. I think if I push this one down right here, should go. I think that one might get a go. Yep. There it went. Get this one right here. He's wanting to keep that. Is that a pennant? What is that? I have no idea what that tree is right there. He's wanting to keep it though. I understand it's a nice big tree. Straight, looks pretty. It's the kind of tree I want in my yard, so we'll leave it. When I'm taking these trees down, a lot of times I wish I could just pick them up and like the huge trees, move them to my yard. I don't know, some of these trees take so long to grow, it's like, daggone. If I could get a tree that's 30 inches across, which is a pretty daggone big tree, plant that thing in my yard, that would be awesome. I don't think that's possible though. I don't know how you would go about even moving a tree and all that without killing it. Just before 6 there, we're calling it an evening. Pretty good day. I got a couple pieces chunked out for firewood. I guess not really chunked out, but some nice big old pin oaks. Hopefully I get a couple more out of that fence right there. We'll be taking that down tomorrow. Still need to cut them up a little bit smaller and haul them back, but overall going pretty good. Got a lot of trees on the ground. A lot of cleanup left to do, as you can see. It's just shoo-wee. By the end of day 3, you can see we've made a lot of progress. All of the trees along the right side of the road I got tore out. Everything behind the barn is tore out. The pond is filled in. Behind the house is tore out. And we even got started on the fence row behind the house. Morning. Just got the Traco serviced and greased up. We were heading out to start clearing trees in that fence row right there. Pretty big trees out there. A lot of big pin oaks, maple, stuff like that. Really, about no sooner than we got started this morning, a big thunderstorm come in, and there was lightning cracking all over the place. So we went ahead and quit for a couple hours. We come back after lunchtime, and we're back at it here on this big fence row. This big fence row is mean. It's going to take longer to come out than I thought. There's a lot of trees with some pretty decent size to them, and a lot of them are coming out really hard. Like, you really got to dig on them to get them to go loose. I got a big pin oak over here, right above me actually. A lot of the limbs are. Try to break some of these limbs off before we go ahead and start pushing and digging and all that on it. I had one tree cleared out this morning when that thunderstorm rolled in. About the time we got fueled up, greased everything, it kind of got nasty there for a couple hours. But it didn't really rain all that much. It just looked really bad. Know what these little trees are right here, but they are mean coming out. These roots are hard to dig through. I don't know what they are, but there's a whole bunch of them in this fence row, and they are mean. They're kind of wiry. It's hard to push them out. I don't know what they are though. Like, there should be no reason for it to be that hard to dig alongside this tree. Especially with the little narrow bucket on. Should be pretty easy. harder than it needs to be, honestly. one is getting set to the side for firewood. I'll break it up though, get some of these limbs off, make it easier to move around. tree was coming out of the hole. I've gotten a little bit closer to this tree and holy smokes, this might be the biggest tree I've ever taken down. I said this thing was in the top 5, but this might by far just be the biggest tree. This thing is huge. This thing is massive. Wow. I was far enough away I couldn't really tell how big it was, but this thing is huge. Wow. That tree right there has seen some things, that is for sure. Wow. Wow, that's a huge tree. I think I need to break some of these limbs off. That one looks like it's dead. For size comparison, there's the Traco. And there's the tree, dude. That thing is huge. Wow. All right, I'm gonna hop in the cab. I'm gonna press play on the GoPro, and I'm not gonna shut it off until this tree's dropped. All right, big tree here, big tree. It's focus time. I'm gonna try to break some of these limbs off without eating a limb to the face. I don't even know how to go about getting some of these limbs down. They're just huge. The problem on a tree this size is some of these limbs are bigger than trees themselves. That is directly over top of me. Let's not take that one down like that. Because that would be how I eat a big old horsefly. Alright, back to the tree situation. Alright, one big limb down. Another massive one to go. I don't know how to go about this one because it's that big. I don't know if I should just leave this one. I might just leave that one and see if I can't get it off on the ground. That makes me feel a lot safer. I know I got the cage on here, but when you got a tree of this size, one of them branches broke off, that's enough to flatten the track though. Like, I don't care what, this cage ain't gonna do nothing. Alright, let's see how easy it is to dig. Or hard. So far not bad. I'm gonna try to pile all the dirt over here so when the tree falls, the dirt is out of the way. There is barbed wire all over in this tree line too here. It's kind of a pain in the butt. I got some barbed wire caught in the tracks. I hate that. But I don't know what you do. I need to get the tracks cleaned out and then I guess maybe take a grinder or a pair of snips or something, get that barbed wire out of there. Digging is honestly going way easier than I expected. This is pretty decent. I can live with this. We're gonna have to go pretty deep though to get this joker flipped up out of here. Who knows? I've had big trees before where I fought them forever, and then I've had big trees where they just flop over and roll right out the hole. I don't know. Maybe this might be one of them ones that's real easy. I just doubt it though. It's huge. It's huge. I wouldn't even know where to begin guessing how much this thing weighs. This is just a huge tree. I'm going to start with probably like digging like around 6 foot down. Something like that all the way around the tree before we begin to push. I want it to be pretty easy to push over. Like, I want to make sure it's loose from the ground before I go to push it over, because I don't want any of these big limbs coming back at me. That would be awful. I just, yeah. this is a freaking tree now. This is, I can't get over it. I'm still just. Big root right there. See if we can't get through it. Yeah. I'm gonna take this tree home for firewood just because it's so big. Like, I don't even know how I'll mess with the pieces. The pieces are going to be so big that they're going to be hard to even move around. I'll need to use a tractor just to move the pieces around before I split them. The other side didn't have hardly any big roots. This side does. I can feel them. They're pretty stout. Honestly, the digging's going really easy. This smaller bucket is insane. I don't know if that's it or if part of this tree is just partially rotten. I mean, it's digging easy, but I'm flying through this. I thought this would be really hard. I am 8-9 minutes into this tree tear out right now. big tree. Side to dig, and then hopefully this thing will go over. I'm not making any promises because it is a huge tree, but I'm hoping I dig this last side out and that'll be enough to take this tree down. How long have we been digging? 11 minutes in, and we got one side left to dig. It might honestly be easier pushing it this way to my right, because it's kind of leaning that way, but that's our soybean field right there. I'd like to not destroy those beans if I don't have to. Granted, if I have to push that way, if it won't go the other way, I mean, that's what you got to do, but I'd really like for it to go to the left of us here. The left of us is just an empty field. Nothing was planted in it. Nothing looks like it's been planted in it in a while. That's that field that has a pond in it and stuff that I took the trees down in. But, yeah. Digging on this tree, the more I'm thinking it's rotten. It's pretty easy digging, even with a small bucket. Like, there's just no roots hardly on this tree that I'm digging through. Not many, at least. It's leading me to believe it's kind of dead already. I don't know, it's got a lot of green leaves up there to be dead though. I know there's a branch or two that might be dead on it, and it might be on its way out, but I think this tree's still alive. I don't know. I'm just wondering why it's so easy digging. This is flopping all over the place here. Okay, that's a hole over there. Let's see if this thing will go. Tree, really big tree. This thing didn't budge. Oh, looks like it's back to the drawing board. It didn't even budge. Wow. I thought I was close to having this thing. Hold on. That root ball, it's going. Never mind. It's going. It's going. It's going. That big old limb broke off. I don't know if you guys seen that. That had me scared. Whoa! That's a big tree. That big old limb over there broke off in them other trees, and they started coming back towards me a little bit. That was the one I was scared to break off when it was up in the air. Got some nice pieces cut for some firewood. Stuff looks wet, but here's that big one I cut on. I got a 25-inch bar on my saw, and a 25-inch bar I couldn't get in the dead center of it. So that kind of shows you how big it is. It's huge. Had to break it off. Granted, I do have some longer felling dogs on my saw, which holds it out maybe 2-3 inches more. I don't know about more, maybe 2 inches more total, but couldn't get the center on it. Several really nice pieces here though. Hauling back to the house. That fence row over there is holding on. That's the one me and Papa were working on today. Papa was working over there. I was working over here. Got a lot cleared out, but a lot left to go. Kind of looks like rain's gonna set in. I don't know. We'll see what happens in the morning though.